will be starting this evening. And this evening, we are going to Cameroon. I'm hoping it's going to be another interesting session as we dissect the market in Cameroon. Cameroon is a Central African country. It's in the Central African region of Africa. So today we are looking at maximizing the potential of Cameroonian market under AfCFTA. Today we are looking at Cameroon. We are looking at Cameroon. We are looking at Cameroon. Cameroon is located in the Central Africa, and you can see it has a boundary Nigeria. Nigeria is the last country in West Africa, just before the Central Africa. So from Cameroon to Central African Republic, Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, Congo, all in the Central African area. Cameroon, incidentally, is not a landlocked country. You remember that we discussed extensively about the implication of being a landlocked country, and that a landlocked country will not be able to enjoy the benefit of having access to the sea. Invariably will not be able to receive goods by sea. We have to depend on other countries for goods to get to them. But for Cameroon, they have access to water. There's access to water in Cameroon. According to the Ease of Doing Business 2020, Cameroon is number 167 out of about 180-something countries, scoring 41.6%. Cameroon is a lower middle income country and a fairly large country, 25 million people, just maybe about Lagos, and the capital is in Douala. Just about 25 million people. Sorry, the capital is Yaoundé rather, but the city covered in this particular project is Douala. Now, someone is raising up his hand. If you have a question, please drop it in the chat box. I will respond to it. If you want to speak, that will be at the end so we can save time. But if you need me to respond to what you want to say urgently, please drop it in the chat box and I will look at it and respond to it as I speak. Else, we'll be able to talk at the end of the program so we can save some time. If you look at the criteria, starting a business is a lot easier in Cameroon. Getting credit is easier in Cameroon. Trading across border is difficult in Cameroon. Electricity also is a challenge. Resolving insolvency also is another issue in Cameroon. Here is the economic snapshot of Cameroon. This is like summarizing the economy of the country, but I'm looking at it from trade perspective. So even though we're discussing the economy of Cameroon, but I'm not really an economist, I'm a trade specialist, so I'll be looking at it from trade perspective. Cameroon is a Central African country bordering the Bight of Biafra and is between Equatorial Guinea and Nigeria. Is between Equatorial Guinea and Nigeria. It has a coastline. It's not a landlocked country. That's a coastline of 402 kilometers. A coastline of 402 kilometers. The people of Cameroon are predominantly Christian, 38% Roman Catholic, 25% Protestant, 6.9 other Christian, and 24.4 Muslim. Now, the religion of a country is so important because it also influences the way they buy and the kind of stuff they will buy. I've said that severally, so it's very important you know the predominant religion. It gives an idea of what you really might not be able to sell in that country. Population estimated July 2020 is about 27 million people. 27 million people. Language, 24 major African languages. Official language include English and French. English and French. Agri products from this country include coffee, cocoa, cotton, rubber, banana, oilseed grain, cassava, livestock, and timber. Now, the implication of this product is that if they're already producing, most likely agri product, most likely you might not have a market. But if it's manufactured goods, that might be an avenue to let you know that you can actually ship the same product. But for agri, you know, agri is in primary form, and if you are going to be shipping it, the might not be so good because it's in primary form and it's not a premium product. As you are not selling at a premium because it's a primary commodity. But if it's a manufactured good, even though a country is producing, you can still sell there because that means if you are able to produce at a competitive rate, if you are able to produce at a competitive rate. Industry, petroleum production, refining, aluminum production, food processing, light consumer goods, and textile. It's a lower middle income country. You and I know by now what that means. This country, they are not earning enough in this country. Probably just about 1,000 plus per annum for an average individual. Now, always remember, because African countries are predominantly poor, with either low income country like what we did last week, or lower middle like what we're looking at now, that means there will be less disposable income. And the implication of that is that because if there's less disposable income, what happens is the people will be living for survival. The people will be living for survival. The implication of living for survival means that if you are going to sell in Cameroon, you are better off with fast-moving consumer goods, products that just about anybody can buy. In fact, if you look at, and this is a consistency I've seen across different countries we have examined in Africa, if you look at the household consumption component, which is about 66.3, do you know what that means? That means when you look at the consumption component of the GDP of this country, 66.3% of the consumption component of GDP is household consumption. Household consumption. The people are basically living for survival. Basically living for survival. And that's a very common and recurrent decima in Africa. Very common and recurrent decima in Africa. But that's information you need also to be able to know that, look, my conclusion so far for most African countries is that, look, you will be able to sell items that are needed for survival. Not that you can't sell other product. Of course, you can sell other product, like you will see some other product they import. But what I'm trying to say is that most of the product that you will sell that will reach almost anybody in the country will be something an average person should be able to buy. An average person should be able to buy. The GDP of this country is 38.76 billion. That is like 20% of Lagos GDP, actually. That is like, maybe, let me say, 30% or 25% of Lagos GDP. And Lagos GDP is about 150 billion. If Lagos were to be a country, it probably would be among the top 5 economies in Africa. The per capita income is about 3,730. 3,730. GDP composition, agri 15%, industry 25%, like many other African countries, including Nigeria, services is almost 50%. And this is an indication that you can sell, export services to this country. Please note, under the AfCFTA, there is room for export of services. Under the AfCFTA, there is room for export of services. There is room for export of services. The protocol covers trade in goods, trade in services, dispute resolution, intellectual property right, competition policy, and of course, investment policy. Now, you will see something again that is a recurrent decimal. And I've said that, look, as long as a country is poor, with high level of unemployment, with a lot of women in the bedroom and few in the boardroom, there will be increase in the growth of population. Childbirth will be a national occurrence because people will go to bed early. So, just like many African countries, 62% of this country is below 25 years, between 0 and 24, 62%. These are indicators to give us an idea of what we sell in Cameroon. These are indicators to give us an idea of what Cameroon are likely going to buy from us. Remember the question I ask every week? The product that you have, can you export it? Is there a demand for your product in Cameroon? Do you have a compelling value proposition? Do you understand your target market? Can you meet the export price expectation? Do you have the distribution and marketing plan? Do you have capacity and capability to export? Have you investigated payment issues? Can you fund your export drive? Have you completed an export plan? For those just joining us, I can see a lot of people just joining us. I've dropped a link for you. That's the link where you will have access to this video and the previous videos. This is like part 7 or part 8 of this series on maximizing the potential of different African markets under AfCFTA. Maximizing the potential of different African markets. Today, we're looking at maximizing the potential of Cameroonian market under the AfCFTA. Maximizing the potential of the Cameroonian market under the AfCFTA. In Cameroon, in 2008, Cameroon was the number 97 economy in the world. In terms of GDP, number 116 in total export, number 128 in total import, and number 118 most complex economy, according to ECI, Economic Complexity Index. In 2018, Cameroon exported $4.26 billion and imported $5.51 billion, resulting in a negative trade balance. Now, note, a country having a negative trade balance might have issue with foreign exchange control. But the beauty of AfCFTA is that we are not going to be trading in foreign currency like dollar, euro, and pounds. We are going to be trading in local currency. So we are going to be using what is called the Pan-African Payment System. The Pan-African Payment System will allow you to trade in your own currency. Because we can't be trading in Africa and depending on another continent or country to determine the fate of our payment under the AfCFTA. In 2018, Cameroon export per capita is 169 and import per capita is 219. Top export of Cameroon are crude. So Cameroon is doing 1.5 billion. The total export of Cameroon is 4.26. But 1.5 billion, which is more than 30%, is on crude. Cocoa, sunwood, gold, banana are top export of Cameroon. About import. Top import of Cameroon include rice, refined petroleum, non-fillet frozen fish, packaged drugs, and wheat. Cameroon export mostly to China is oil products, and then Italy and UAE, then France and Netherlands. I'm sure it's cocoa that Netherlands is buying, or part of what Netherlands is buying, and import mostly from China again, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Italy, and Thailand. Let's drill down more on what Cameroon import. Let's drill down more. This is a snapshot of the $5.51 billion of import from Cameroon. But I want us to drill down and go into the detail of some of these items, particularly the one we can do in Africa.
To get the full video, check the description or visit www.globaltradecollege.com.